Hello out there. I'm going to teach you how to make your very own lemon battery tower. Without any further ado, let's get into the build. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I like to start out with a drawing of what I'm going to be making. This is going to be our modular lemon battery, so it's going to be theoretically infinitely expandable. My idea is to have a circular platform with two holes in it, and then you can push two nails through and then push the lemon onto those nails and make your electrical connection and wire everything up. And you could have a grid of these and then stack them on top of each other to make a tower. My initial idea was to power a motor with a little fan on it. I thought it'd be fun to be powered by lemons in the summertime and cool yourself off. I learned later that my 3D printer will only be able to print a 3x4 grid of these circular platforms. And I also realized that I'm not going to use enough lemons to power a electric motor, so I'm going to power some LEDs that are going to light up a fun powered by citrus sign. If you're going to make a lemon battery, you're going to need some lemons. I went off to Costco and found some bags of cheap lemons. $6.99 for 5 pounds. I'm making 4 stories and each story needs 12 lemons, so that means I need 48 lemons total for my lemon battery tower. Got the lemons home and I needed to test them to know how many volts and milliamps you can get from each lemon. To make a lemon battery, you need a zinc electrode and a copper electrode. I'm using this zinc covered nail and a copper nail. How a lemon battery works is that lemons have lemon juice inside, which is an acid, and a chemical reaction occurs between the zinc in the nail and the acid, and that leaves behind electrons. When you connect the zinc and copper electrodes in a circuit, electrons will flow, giving you a little bit of electricity. The battery will last as long as the acid uses all its chemical energy and can't react with the zinc anymore to release any more electrons, and then the battery dies. I've got my multimeter out and I'm connecting the ground probe to the zinc nail, which is the negative terminal, and the positive probe of my multimeter to the copper, which is the positive terminal, and I am getting 0.945 volts. I tested 3 lemons and I got pretty consistent with the volts, 0.9 and change with the volts, and 0.01 to 0.07 milliamps for current. Then I tested 4 lemons in series, which means I connected each lemon positive to negative, positive to negative, positive to negative, and then used the leftover positive and negative terminals and attached those to my multimeter, and I got about 3.7 volts. I printed out a test platform for my nails so I didn't waste any printing filament, and tried it out with a couple of nails. The nails fit nice and snug, and the copper nail fits just a little snugger. It's a little harder to get on, but it stays put. I tested a lemon on it and noticed that my platform was a little big, and so in my final design I made it a little smaller and attached them all together like this. Printed it out in a nice blue because I like the color coordination between the blue platform and the yellow in the lemons. Then you got to stick all the nails in it. I didn't realize until after I put all the nails in it how dangerous this could be just laying around. So be very careful when you're working with these nails and don't leave them sticking up. Otherwise, someone could get poked or stuck with a nail. That could be very dangerous. Then I printed out 4 more of these and put nails in all of them. I designed my powered by citrus sign in Fusion 360, and I really like how it came out. There's a little hole in the back for the wires to go through. I made the thickness of the letters really thin, so when the light shines through, it'll be a little bit brighter. And then I printed it out. I think it came out really good. I love the little lemon in the corner. I think that adds a nice little touch to the sign. I made the sign in 3 pieces, so you're going to have to glue the sign onto the body with a little bit of super glue or Zap-A-Gap. I totally forgot to press record when I connected these LEDs, but I found these high-powered LEDs on Amazon, and I just wrapped some copper wire around the negatives to the negatives and the positives to the positives, and then ran it through this proto board and then just hot glued them to it to keep them in place. I put a little electrical tape on the back so the wires would stay separate from each other and not short each other out. Then I ran the wires through the hole in the back of the lid and then taped it to the lid to secure it in place. You could also hot glue it there. Then I grabbed a coin cell and tested it out to make sure it worked. And it looks great, although it is not powered by citrus yet. Okay, back to the lemon battery. So all the nails are in all of our platforms and we need something to connect them with. So I took some stranded copper wire I had and stripped off the insulator and was left with a bunch of thin strands of copper wire that worked perfectly to connect everything together. Once you get all your nails wired up, it is time to put the lemons on. Now be very careful with this so you don't stab yourself. Try to keep your fingers and hands out of the path of the nails as you're pushing them on, and stick all the lemons into your nails and create a tower of lemons. I'm going to show you how I wired them together in a second because I actually messed up the wiring and had to redo it while all the lemons were attached. All the lemons are on and I will show you how I wired it and why it's wrong. So this is how I wired it. I wired it all up in parallel except for those last 3 I put in series on the end. It wasn't lighting up my LEDs, so I thought about it long and hard and I finally figured it out. This is the correct way to wire them. I wired 4 lemons in series. So you go from positive to negative of 1 lemon, positive to negative of 1 lemon, positive to negative of the other lemon, and you do that for all 3 rows of 4 lemons. You will see that there is a leftover positive terminal and a leftover negative terminal of each row of lemons. And you're going to connect all those together in parallel. Each level of lemons will have the voltage of 4 lemons connected in series and 3 lemons connected in parallel. Wire all your levels of lemons exactly the same way, just like this, and make sure you leave tails on your positive and negative connections of your parallel connections of each level, because we're going to connect those with the other levels. I pulled out my multimeter to test each level and I was getting about 0.07 milliamps per level and about 3.3 volts per level. Then I stacked them together and connected all the ground wires together on one side and all the positive wires on the other side together. I didn't leave a large enough tail on one of my levels of lemons, so I used some alligator clips to connect it together on the positive side and the negative side. Just to recap, all the rows of lemons are connected in parallel like this, and all the lemons are connected in series this way. Then I connected up my multimeter and tested the voltage, and I was getting about 3.2 volts from the tower, and flipped that over to test the milliamps, and I was getting about 0.46 milliamps of current. Not too bad for lemons. Now the moment of truth. Time to connect my sign to our lemon battery tower. And you can barely see it with the lights on, but with the lights off, it actually looks pretty sweet. Now, LEDs normally get about 20 milliamps of current, and this is getting 0.46 milliamps, so about 40 times less current than it should be getting. To get about 20 milliamps of current, you would need approximately 2,064 lemons to get 20 milliamps of current at about 3.2 volts. That is a heck of a lot of lemons. So was this a waste of 48 lemons? No way! I learned so much and I had a blast. I made a modular lemon battery tower. You can keep adding to it infinitely. You could make thousands of lemons in your battery. You could fill up a whole room, a lemon battery room. I love this little sign that came out of it. I might put a battery in it and put it on my shelf because that would be funny. It's not actually powered by lemons in that case. But I also learned a ton. I learned about series parallel connections, connecting batteries in series and parallel at the same time to increase voltage and amperage, and I left my mistakes on that in here because I wanted to show you that, you know, I don't know everything, and I learn something new with every project, and that's why I do projects, because I love building stuff and I love learning new stuff, and so that is why I do it. So I hope you give it a shot. If you make one, make sure you tag me on social media. I would love to see your creation and what you power with your lemon battery tower. And if you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next project.